Hey guys, this is Roni coming back to talk about obviously two really important things, which are the 204 proposition and the Scottsdale override. So the thing that's kind of keeping me focused the next 2.5 weeks, because we pretty much have 2 weeks and a day, is this idea of yes on override, yes on 204, but no regrets. So the worst thing that could possibly happen is November 6th, when the election results are coming in, or November 7th, we're sitting there going, I wish I would have done more. If I'd only done this, I wish I would have talked to more people. That is the last thing that we do not want to have. So this is going to end up being yes on 204, yes on override, but no regrets. And I know we just got back from fall break, and a lot of people worked really hard before break, making phone calls, canvassing, holding signs up, talking to people, but we have to make sure that we take the next 2 weeks and really pound the pavement. We have to make sure that this is happening in the next 2 weeks, because all of that work before break is going to be for naught if we do not make sure that we keep continuing to send the message. So October 11th is when early ballots dropped. So some people have sent in their early ballots last week when we were on break. A majority of the people are going to send it in this week. So it's really critical that we are doing everything we can to get a hold of people and sending them the message. So why this is even bigger is SUSD just printed out a budget report right before we went off for break, looking at what would happen if 204 and the override don't pass. And what it is we end up being $25 million in the hole. Think about how catastrophic that's going to be. In fact, think about the issues that we're dealing with right now. Just take a second. The things that are really getting us heated up over things in terms of not enough time, not enough professional development, not enough money. Those won't even seem like a big deal if the 204 and the override don't pass. So it's really critical that we're doing everything. So when I first came to you guys, I said there's 5 things we need to do in the next 5 weeks that are going to determine the next 5 years. Well, guess what? We only have 2 weeks to go, but those 5 things are critical. So I'm going to do a quick review, tell you what SEA has in plan for the next 2 weeks to make sure that we maximize getting people to be aware that they need to vote yes on 204 and yes on the override. So number 1, vote. You have to vote. I cannot tell you how many teachers have come up to me and said, you know what, I have to tell you something. I don't really vote. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't really vote? I don't care if you've never voted before. Get online, register, and go to the polling place and submit your vote, even if it's just for the override and for 204. But for you to not vote means that you are now saying no on 204 and no on the override. This is money that will directly go right into your classroom. This is your compensation. This is your class size. These are your resources. You can't not vote. In fact, if you don't vote, you have no right to ever, from now on, complain about class size, money, salaries, resources, anything. Because by not voting, you've said, you know what, apparently it's really not that important to me. So please vote. We have to make sure that happens. Second thing is talk to people. A lot of you have been talking to people everywhere, and I see it because I'll be hanging around with a teacher at some point, and one of their friends will come by and they're like, hey, let me talk to you about 204. That's exactly what you're going to want to be doing. If you feel comfortable enough talking to strangers, and some of you do, which rock it out if you do, but if you feel comfortable enough, a really good way would be like, oh yeah, hey, I teach over here, I teach over there, I'm a teacher, but do you know where your sales tax goes, where that 1 cent sales tax goes? They're going to say no, and the response is, well, you know what? If you vote yes on 204, when you vote yes on 204, that 1 cent sales tax that you've already been paying, about 80% of it will go right into public education. Done deal. So just make sure that you vote yes on 204. It's the last proposition on the ballot. But please talk to as many people as humanly possible. Even today I had a doctor's appointment, and I was talking to my doctor about 204. He is on board. We need to make sure he gets his family on board too. The third thing is your home emails, and you guys have been awesome with that. We've been able to communicate back and forth with thousands of teachers from Scottsdale, so that's awesome. The fourth thing is getting your windows painted, and it's been going okay. Now, please, if you're a teacher that says, no, I don't want to, I just washed my rear windshield, I just want you to be fully aware of that the opposition is spending a lot of money putting up ads and putting up signs on the road that say no on 204, no on 204. You've seen them. So an uneducated voter is going to drive by and they see all those no's on 204 and says, you know what, I guess no on 204, unless they are swarmed by a sea of cars that say yes on 204, support public education, yes on the override. That's when they will more likely vote yes for it, because they see that it's an initiative that the entire community is involved in. Please, if you have not gotten your window painted, contact your site rep. just catch them in the hallway and say, hey, I want you to do this one. Can we set it up? But it's really, really important. The last thing is do something. That was the big piece of this puzzle that people are like, well, I'm in my classroom. What you want to make sure you realize is if 204 fails, you being in your classroom sheltered will not be the case. 204 failing will come in and take money out of your classroom and put more students in there versus voting yes for it, and it'll have the positive effect. So do something. Right after I'm done with this message, you're going to see the calendar of events that are coming up, but essentially we're going to do a intersection square dance Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week and all next week. We need people to get the word out. Now, each school is going to do it at different days and different times, but you need to contact your site rep and they'll send out some sort of communication letting you know. But it's very critical that we are making sure everyone sees that teacher support 204. Teacher support the Scottsdale Override. If you haven't done this at your school, do it. Even if only 2 people at your school are willing to do it, that's 2 more than we had before, so please get on that. Also, phone banks. We are not meeting at a location for phone banks anymore. I need you to email me. It's, mr.assali. That's not true. Nix that. It's mr.ronywassali@gmail.com. I will send you 12 to 15 people, pro-education voters, that you can call with a script, and you are just calling, reminding them about 204 and the override. Very simple, very easy, but you can do it from your own home, in your pajamas, and you at least feel like you are being proactive in terms of getting the override and 204 passed. The canvassing we're going to talk about later on. You're going to get more information on that online, but it's really, really important that we get this done and we get this vote through. Remember, yes on 204, yes on the override, and no regrets.